Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of GrammatiX. Those who are watching it for the first time, please do like, share and subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Welcome to the maths class. So today we will be continuing with the previous chapter, that is Algebraic Expressions. So today we will be dealing with some of the definitions that we use while teaching and learning algebra. So some of the very important terms. So first word that we are going to study today is constant. So what do you mean by a constant? A symbol in algebra which has a fixed value is a constant. For example, you can use 2, 5, 7. That means it doesn't change, the value doesn't change. Such symbols are called constants. And the second one which we are going to do is called a variable. So since as the name tells us variables, that means which varies. Now what is a variable? Variable is a symbol in algebra which can be assigned various numerical values. So that means it can be, the values of these variables can be changing. So these variables are represented by the letters of the English alphabet. So commonly used as X, Y, Z, or you can use any other letters in the English alphabet. A combination of a constant and a variable is also a variable. For example, if you are writing 6 plus X. So 6 plus X is also a variable. It is a combination of a constant and a variable, but again it is a variable because the value depends upon this values of X. So it is always changing. So 6 plus X is also a variable. Now your third word that we are going to study is called a term. Now what do you mean by a term? Term can be an arithmetic number or a letter or a group of letters or a combination of numbers and letters. So these numbers or letters or group of letters combined together by multiplication or division. That's what a term is. For example, it can be X, 6 is a term, or you can write 6x, it is again a term, or you can write 6xy, it is a term, or you can use xy, it is a term, or you can use x y by 7. These are all terms. It can be a number, it can be a group of letters, it can be a combination of a number and a letter. Here 6x means it is multiplication, okay, 6 into x. So here also same thing, here it is division. So letters, numbers, they are joined by multiplication or division. These are called terms. Now the next what we are going to study is about arithmetic expression. Now what do you mean by an arithmetic expression? Arithmetic expression is a combination of terms where they are joined together, combined using a plus or a minus. Arithmetic expression is an expression where you can find many terms which are combined together by addition or subtraction. So you can write here it is 6xy plus xy plus 6. So here you have 3 terms here, 1, 2 and 3 terms. They are joined by addition symbols. So this is what an expression is. So expression also, so in an expression, here in this expression what I have written on the board, you have 3 terms. So when the terms are joined together by addition or subtraction, it becomes an arithmetic expression. Now again you have specific names for arithmetic expressions having 1 term, having 2 terms, having more than 2 terms, okay. So moving on to your fifth definition, that is a monomial. Now what do you mean by a monomial? So just the fourth definition was an algebraic expression. That means algebraic expression terms combined together using a plus or a minus. That is what an algebraic expression means. Now algebraic expressions having only one term, that is what mono means. Okay, having only one term is called a monomial. So expressions having only one term is called a monomial. For example, you can use 6x. So 6x is a monomial. It is having only one term. And then the sixth one is your binomials. Now what do you mean by a binomial? As the name indicates, bi means two. So expressions having two terms called binomials. You can write 5x plus 3. You have two terms here, 5x and 3. Two terms combined together with a plus sign. So you have two terms, that is a binomial. And more than two terms, it is polynomial. But if you have a specific term for an arithmetic expression having three terms, that is trinomial. Trinomial, that's having three terms. 4xy plus 2x plus 7. So having three terms, we call it as trinomial. Actually, expressions having more than two terms are called polynomials. So next, your eighth one is the polynomial. What is poly? Poly means many. So any expressions having two or more terms are called polynomials. So you can use here two or more terms. So binomial and trinomial are special kinds of polynomials. It is also called a compound expression. Polynomials are also called compound expressions, or it is a polynomial. The polynomial is generally used term. Okay. So your ninth one is factor. Now what do you mean by a factor? Factor is any one of two or more numbers that are multiplied together to form a number. For example, if you have the number 10, the factors of 10 is 2 and 5. Okay, 2 and 5 are the factors of 10. And similarly, the factors of 3xy, 3, x, y. So factors of 3xy, 3x and y. Similarly, factors of 10, 2 and 5. So these are the factors. Next, we are going to see the term coefficient. Now, what is meant by coefficients? If two factors form a product, either of the two factors is the coefficient of other. For example, if use the word 7, if you are using the term 7x, now 7 is the coefficient of x and x is the coefficient of 7. So it is defined as 7 is the coefficient of similarly x is the coefficient of 7. This is what coefficient means. That means it's a product. 7 and x form a product 7x. So 7 is the coefficient of x and x is the coefficient of 7. Okay. Now next what we are going to do is numerical coefficient and literal coefficient. We can do it together. So the 11th one is numerical coefficient. And the 12th one, literal coefficient. Now as the name indicates, numeral coefficient means the number. That means when you get a term, the numerical, the number that is in that term is said to be the numerical coefficient, and the letters that are there are called literal coefficient. For example, if I am using the terms 27x square, so here the numerical coefficient is 27. So your answer is 27 because it is the number that is used in this term. Similarly, when we are seeing for the literal coefficient, if you are using the term 4x, the literal coefficient is x. So numerical coefficient will tell you the number, that is a number there as an answer, that is a coefficient, and for literal coefficient it is the letter that we are using. So this is what numerical coefficient and literal coefficient is about. Next we will be doing unlike terms and like terms. So like terms. Now what do you mean by like terms? Like terms are the terms having the same literal coefficient. Terms having the same literal coefficients are called like terms. For example, you have for 6xy, 3xy, 7xy. So see here the literal coefficients, here it is xy, xy, xy. Since the literal coefficients are same, we say that they are like terms. No need to look at the numerical coefficient. You have to just see the literal coefficients to pick out the like terms. So similarly, when you talk about unlike terms, here also the same thing. As the name indicates, you will be having different literal coefficients. So it can be 6a, 7b, 9d. So these are all having different literal coefficients. So these terms are unlike terms. So like terms means terms having the same literal coefficients, and unlike terms means terms having different literal coefficients. So these are some of the very useful terms that we need to study before going on with the problems with algebra. So that's what we did as definitions in algebraic expressions, and that's all for today. Thank you and bye.